just in case. Hi, my name is Megan Novi. Welcome to the Pop Culture Club, a club for everyone who loves pop culture. Happy Tuesday, day after St. Patrick's Day. So much news this weekend. How was everyone's St. Patrick's Day? Good? Did we all have corned beef and cabbage, Guinness, Irish whiskey? How did we celebrate, guys? What do we do? I made potatoes, cabbage. Not sure if I made it right, but I basically just like boiled it with butter and seasoning and carrots. And I ordered out the corned beef because I don't like it. It looks disgusting. But the rest of my family likes it. So they ate that. I ate mashed potatoes for dinner for the Irish. Yeah. We have a lot of stuff to go over today. We have a bunch of like little pop culture stories that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And obviously we got some Kardashian news. We can't avoid it. So I'm just going to talk about that, give you guys the news so that you can not have to worry about seeing any clickbait. You already know the story. And then we also have the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was on Sunday night. I'm going to do a little recap of that. And the Bachelor was on last night, and Grant narrowed his choice down to two women. And I think that we all saw his choice coming. So we'll talk more on that too. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to start with the Kim and Kanye stuff just to get that over with. Did anyone see over the weekend any like Kanye news, any stories popping up? A lot of it was like coming out on Sunday, and then Monday we got some more information. So Kanye West, he's on one right now. He's not a lot of people's favorite person. He's been, honestly, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. He's a bad guy. Like, he's not good. Posting racist stuff online. Not there for his kids. Just like I don't know, the whole Bianca Censori thing. I don't know. But it's just, everyone used to love this guy. They loved his music. And now he's just, why do we even give him attention? I think half the reason he does this stuff is because he wants attention. I think he gets jealous when the attention is on the Kardashians and he wants to pull it back to him. He's just like a little child, So he posted a song that his daughter Northwest, who is 11, was going to be on, and the song was with Diddy. So if anyone isn't following, Diddy is in jail for racketeering and a lot of like sexual assault charges, and he is not someone that you want to be associated with right now. And Kanye West is putting his daughter out there on an album with him. Kim tried to stop it by saying that she got the trademark on on all the kids when they were younger, and that once it's 18, they'll go to them. And she explained it to Kanye, and he just was like, not having it. You're dead to me. This is going to be like a media war for you, and we are both never going to recover. Which is probably true. Kanye's probably going to take his whole family to the ground with his tantrums, with the way he acts. So the song so Kim said basically no. She tried to put the kibosh on it and said, no, we are not, that's not going to happen. And she explained to Kanye in a text message, this is what happened. I have the rights and you can't really do anything. And then he just dropped it anyway on Twitter/X. And yeah, that's really messed up. And to put your child in that situation, so he posted the song titled Lonely Roads Still Go to Sunshine. And he posted this new song by Puff Daddy featuring his son, King Combs, my daughter, Northwest, and new Yeezy artist from Chicago, Jasmine Williams. That was the post that he sent. And the snippets, I didn't. Don't worry, guys. I didn't listen to it. I just read because I'm not going to give him any likes, listens, anything like that. I think we should all stay in solidarity and not do that either. So let me just read you what the song entails, so you don't have to go look. Let's see. He snippet suggests the song begins with a phone conversation between Diddy and Kanye, in which Diddy seemingly is thanking him for taking care of his 7 kids. Ain't nobody reach out to them. Ain't nobody call them. It's the direct quote. And later in the track, North can also be heard rapping. When you see me shining, then you see the light. Yeah, I hope we don't hear the rest of that song. It doesn't need to be played. Diddy. Kanye is like, yeah, I like Elon. Yeah, I like Diddy. He just wants the attention. No one's giving him attention right now, and that's all he wants. So let's just stop giving it to him. It's easy for competent adults to be like, he's weird and I don't like him and I'm not going to listen to him. But unfortunately, there's a lot of young kids that still, follow him, follow his music, and don't really know, they just see this guy who has millions of dollars and all this money, and he's singing these songs and about hurting women and racist things. It's just, and we have these young kids listening to it. How come Britney Spears was in a conservative? I've seen a lot of people posting this. This is an original thought of mine, but I strongly agree. Why isn't Lindsay Lohan, not Lindsay Lohan, why wasn't Kanye, I have Lindsay Lohan on the brain. We're going to talk about the Freaky Friday trailer. I didn't have it on my notes, but that just triggered it in my brain. We have to talk about the Freaky Friday trailer, Freakier Friday. We'll come back to that. I need to get a pin board so I can remember my tangents. Britney Spears is in a conservatorship. Why is it Kanye? Why hasn't Kanye gotten to the point where someone has stepped in and said, we need to put him in a conservatorship. Let's see how he spends his money. Why aren't men put in conservatorships? But Britney Spears, throw in one. Wendy Williams, throw her in one. That is a trending story. Also, I'm going to be covering this week because there's a lot of little things that I've heard. I want to put them all together in one story, but I am following the Wendy Williams conservatorship. But it's why hasn't this happened to Kanye yet? Why is he still out able to harass his family, put his kids in bad situations, spend all of his money? No one let Britney Spears do that. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to say on that. To segue into another little Kardashian story, maybe Kim should stop worrying, grinding on a Tesla robot and, figure out what she's going to do with Kanye, because she's out there modeling with these Teslas, grinding on a Tesla robot. She did a photo shoot for Perfect Magazine. I've never heard of Perfect Magazine. Does anyone know anything about it? Drop a comment. Let me know. Don't know her. It looks like Kim is back posing for magazines that she originally did. Just whoever will ask her, she'll post for a magazine. That's kind of her MO. If anyone knows about Perfect Magazine, let me know. I've never heard of it. So, okay. Done with the Kardashians. All done with that. Anyone watching that? Sorry. Undo. Anyone watching the show, the Kardashian show, is it worth getting back into? Are there any stories that are popping up that we didn't already know? What are they selling us? If anyone wants to drop in the comments, if anyone's watching Kardashians, want me to recap it, I definitely will, but I just don't know if there's an urge for that right now. I don't know if that's the right word, but okay, moving on. The iHeart Music Awards were last night. iHeartRadio Music Awards were last night, and Taylor Swift opened the show with her opening set from the Eras tour. I put these out, and I got more of a Eras shirt. It is in honor of the 2-year anniversary of the Eras Tour. Um, it was rare. I was there. But I loved the opening. It was so good. If you haven't seen it, you can go watch it on Disney Plus. And it starts with like, "It's been a long time coming," and she does like, you've probably seen it with all the like waves, and then she goes into "Cruel Summer," and that is like such a good song. So if it's how I remember seeing it, that's what happened on the music awards. I didn't watch it, but since it was that opening, I assumed it was the same thing. Ashanti presented Nelly with the Landmark Award, and that was really cute. They started this little family, these 2000s era artists found love. They're together. I love Ashanti. I liked Nelly. I'm still giving him a chance. He's okay. Um, and good for them, and good for Nelly to get the Landmark Award because he does have a lot of hits. And I remember just growing up, the summer that Hot in Here came out, obsessed with that song. I still sing it. If that song came on, I'd still get up and dance to that one. JoJo Siwa's roaming the red carpet in crazy outfits again. Um, it was like this structured. Honestly, it was so big. I saw her being interviewed. It wouldn't even fit in the frame. I couldn't even see what the top looked like to describe it, and I didn't care that much to go like find another picture. But she's just dressing crazy, doing her thing. A Dance Moms alum, which there are surprising a lot of Dance Moms alums that are like breaking their way into popular culture right now. We have JoJo Siwa. To be fair, Dance Moms is a blind spot of mine. So this is just off things I've kind of seen on TikTok. And then Tate McRae is a Dance Mom alum. And yeah, that's crazy. And I think there's one more. I thought I was going to say the girl that plays Snow White, Maddie Ziegler, Rachel Ziegler, but I think I'm getting her confused with the Sia girl. Like I think I'm mixing up their names. I have more stories about the Snow White stuff. I'll be telling you as we get closer to the premiere of Snow White this week. Whew, okay. I got on a roll, and I feel like my mouth is moving faster than my brain. So I'm just going to take a second, regather my thoughts. Okay. Whew. JoJo Siwa. The next red carpet thing that I saw at the iHeart Music Awards, iHeart Radio Music Awards, that is a mouthful, is Ariana Madix was there walking the red carpet with her boyfriend Dan, and she was just all smiles. There was a clickbait saying Ariana says that Daniel is the one. And I was like, okay, she did not say that he's the one. Like, they're just blowing this out of proportion. But she kind of did. She was like, yeah, when you know, you know. And I knew really on. And like, that's kind of pretty much saying that you know that he's the one. Good for her. She looked so happy. They both looked so happy. I cannot wait for the next season of Love Island for her to host. And, I saw an interview where she was like, I was never going to go back to Vanderpump Rules. Like, there was all these stories that, like, Ariana's going to go back. How are they going to restructure it? Is it going to be just the girls and Ariana? No Tom Sandoval. And, yeah, Ariana was just, like, a few weeks ago. Yeah, I was never. People put my name out there. I never said anything, but I knew I was never going back. Once she walked out of that place, looking for the Applebee's at the end of Vanderpump Rules, she was done. We knew that Ariana was never coming back. So, yeah, good for Ariana. I'm happy for her. And that it's also 2 years since Scandival. So, yeah, it's crazy like how fast 2 years have flown. Honestly, I would have thought Scandival was like, last year, but yeah, 2 years, crazy. And Billie Eilish performed Wildflower. I saw a clip of that. It looked like, simple lights on her voice. which is really what like you want showcased with Billie Eilish. She has such a beautiful voice. And that song Wildflower is growing on me. Right, so that's all the iHeartRadio Music Awards news that I have. If you saw anything else pop up, drop it in the comments. Let me know if there's anything I missed that is exciting. Those are just what I kind of saw scrolling through last night when I was watching The Bachelor. That was what popped out at me. This is a story. Okay, now I'm going to get into like a few just random tidbits. These stories have no rhyme or reason. Some hot goss, if you want to call it that. The first one is good though. Neo. He sings Miss Independent, a bunch of other songs, but he apparently is in a polyamorous relationship with four other women. 4 girlfriends. Yeah. And this is coming off of a divorce that he had where he was not faithful to his wife. So from what I gathered from the article, it seems like he is, he knows himself and he knows he's not going to be able to be monogamous to one woman. And instead of trying to fit into that box and disappointing another woman, he decided that, let's try this. Let's give it a shot. I'm not here to yuck anyone's yums. If everyone's on board and everyone's consenting, by all means, you do you, boo. So I just thought that article was interesting because not because of the polyamorous thing. Like, we watch Sister Wives all the time. It's basically I don't watch it. My mom does. But we all as a society watch Sister Wives. So I don't think a man having, a bunch of girlfriends or wives is that out of the ordinary these days. But what I thought was interesting was that he calls them his pyramid. His 4 girlfriends are his pyramid. And the article goes on. It was like a full spread. It must have been an exclusive because it had him, it had all his girlfriends, and then it had like a breakdown of each girlfriend and their own, story. Because when People Magazine or Us does a spread, you get the celebrity side, you get the wife side, you get a little paragraph about them. But if there's 4 girlfriends, you got to do 4 paragraphs about the 4 girlfriends. So the first one is Christina, and he calls her Pretty Baby. That's her nickname. There's Ariel, and to him, that's his twin flame is Ariel. Monet is his Phoenix Feather, and Brianna is his sexy little something. LIL, something without a G. Yeah, so he has those laid it all out there for us to see, to know, and maybe that will give other people, hey, I don't want one woman. As a woman, I'm not into that. I wouldn't want to share my man. I think not even as a woman, just in general. But yeah, good for Neo. Good for Neo and finding out something that works for him and for all the other girls. Because what if the other girls are like, what if one of these girls has like another guy and Neo knows about it and he's cool with it? It could be like this whole like web where everyone's just getting what they want and they're happy. That's my rant on the polyamorous relationship of Neo and his girlfriends. Oh, I'm so sorry. One more thing. In the interview, he talks about how he was open with every single girl about, what the situation was. And he invited them, all 4 girls, to dinner. And this quote literally made me laugh when I was reading it. He goes, "By the grace of God, everybody got along." And all his girlfriends got along and hit it off. And I thought that was just that quote. By the grace of God, everybody got along. Very, very Sister Wives. Very Sister Wives coded of Neo. Another artist in the news, Bad Bunny. We all know Bad Bunny. You're welcome, ladies. he is the new Calvin Klein spokesperson for the Icon cotton stretch underwear. And so he's showing off his abs, his torso, his tattoos. And he said he's very excited to, to be a part of this collaboration. He looks good. Looks good. Is he still with? No, he's not still messing around with Kendall. Who's Bad Bunny with now? It's not Kendall, is it still? I'm gonna look into that for sure. Another story. Chris Pratt is in the news. Sometimes it's like I love to hate Chris Pratt. I don't love to hate him, but I feel like backstabbed by him. He was in Parks and Rec, and he was like this cute, funny guy. And he married Anna Faris, and they were just like this cute, funny couple, and they were kind of weird, and we all liked them. And then they got divorced, and everyone said, I will never believe in love again. And then we kind of like, started seeing Chris Pratt's true like colors come out, and the kind of person he wants to be. And it was kind of like, oh, that relationship is not what we thought it was. It seems like he wants to get to this like point of celebrity. He's checked all the boxes. He's married a Nepo baby. He's joined a megachurch. He voices every single cartoon, and my kids are in their cartoon era, and I don't want to hear Chris Pratt as a Lego man and Mario. And there's something else that he's going to be in. He's going to be, I don't know what it is. This gets me riled up. Why does he have to be the voice of every single cartoon, and he doesn't change his voice? It's not like he's a voice actor that does all these creative voices. It's basically just like an underlying Chris Pratt voice with a little bit of like accent. Like for Mario, he did a little bit of a Boston or Italian accent. Oh my gosh, it's gonna like really bother me. I'm gonna look it up while I go on this rant. So he did this new article, and the article was called Chris Pratt pointed out similarities in his characters from big commercial movies, and after hearing these examples, you won't be able to unsee it. And then the underquote from Chris Pratt is, I guess even now, I'm realizing that there are similarities. Well, one similarity is you are monopolizing the main character cartoon voice jobs. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't need to hear him as every single voice. Second, what the article went on to do was to kind of show another example of how he's in these same roles. He plays the same character, Star-Lord, this guy who loves 80s nostalgia and is so cool and dances and is like retro. Cool. And then he's talking about how in Jurassic Park, it was the same kind of vibe. It was this cool guy who really was into this like retro stuff. And then now he has this new movie with Millie Bobby Brown. It's like the same. Oh my gosh. It's basically like a Bobo Guardians of the Galaxy, but like on Earth, but like that. It's just, Chris Pratt cannot break out of this box. He's just going to be this commercial guy. And I don't know. I feel like I was given a bait. He's allowed to do whatever he wants, but I feel like I was given a bait and switch. I thought he was like so funny. And then now he's just like this boring. It's like predictable. I think it's predictable is what I'm like kind of getting at. Okay, sorry. I'm looking up what this new cartoon that he's going to be in. Garfield. He needs to be Garfield? Is he the voice? Yep. Mario, Garfield, and a Lego man? Emmett was his name in the Lego movie. He doesn't need to be all three. I think he's one more thing, too. I think he's another cartoon character. But that's going to just, honestly, it's probably going to take me on a deep dive, and I'll just start scrolling on my phone and forget I'm even on camera. So I'm not going to do that one. But, yeah, Chris Pratt. Don't get me started on that. I'm glad I have you guys to vent to, because I've vented to my husband about this so many times. Every time Avengers movie is on, I talk about how disappointed I am in Chris Pratt. So, I think I had one more story. I thought I had one more story, but I didn't add. Oh, the Freaky Friday story. That's why I need my pin board because it wasn't in my notes, but I wanted to talk about it. Freakier Friday. Saw the trailer. So excited. I was such a huge Freaky Friday fan. Loved the soundtrack. You're It. Pink Slip was the band. The Ultimate was the song. It had Chad Montgomery. I'm just like gonna like vomit out all the words, all the Freaky Friday stuff that I loved about that movie. Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan did so good at Body Swap. They like nailed it. They nailed each other's mannerisms, and now they're back to do it again with Lindsay Lohan's daughter in the movie, and it looks like their friend. It looks like the four-way swap, and it looks so funny. I hope there's new music. Chad Michael is back, and he looks just as good as when he was on originally. I'm really excited for it. The trailer just gave me life. It's gonna be I'm gonna see it in theaters for sure. That is a popcorn movie. I remember when that movie came out originally. I think that was like the summer that I started actually going to the movie theater by myself with friends, and we would just go over the summer and see the same movies over and over again, and then like see a movie and sneak into another one that we liked. I think it was like Freaky Friday, Spy Kids, and then we'd sneak into like American Pie and Bend It Like Beckham. I don't know if those all came out in the same year, but those are the ones that like I remember going in to see. It wasn't American Pie, it was American Wedding. So yeah, not that old. Yeah, so Freakier Friday, very exciting. So exciting for that. Another random story that I saw come out is former Bachelor Sean Lowe. He got attacked twice by the same dog within 12 hours on the same arm. It's kind of a crazy story. Sean Lowe, the former Bachelor, he picked Catherine Giudice. They're still together, still making videos. Cute little family. I think they have all boys. But he first was attacked by his dog Moose, and he's a rescue boxer. They had the dog for about 3 months and were working on training him. And the dog first got to Sean, got to his arm, and he said there was like a pool of blood coming out. He thought that the dog got an artery, and it was just like really scary. But he got help, got to the hospital, and was all good. And then later, it must have been, if it's 12 hours, it must have been like evening, morning. I didn't get that time, but they said roughly 12 hours later, the dog, he heard Catherine going, no, 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 like yelling. And the dog got out and like basically like was tunnel vision on Sean, went for him, attacked him in the same arm. And Sean was saying that his arm was like so weak from the first attack. It was barely useful to get the dog off him. And he was like hitting same points. And it was just like, the dog just was like out of vengeance for Sean. And so they got the dog off. Sean is okay. They were saying they're so grateful that it was him and not one of the kids that he had attacked. But he did say that he was going to work diligently to find out another homing situation for Moose, the rescue boxer. And yeah, I hope that, they can find a home for him, of someone that is going to be able to put that work in of training so that it does not happen to someone again. And, Sean did say that, it wasn't the dog's fault. Maybe that implies he could have maybe done a better job with training, but I don't want to put that on him. I'm not going to victim blame Sean Lowe, but maybe that dog just wasn't a right fit for the family, and that does happen. So we hope Moose finds a good home, and we hope Sean has a full recovery and heals and gets better. Okay, so that is all the topics I have. Wow, 30 minutes on those already. Whew. Yeah, crazy what's going on. Watch The Bachelor, and I'm gonna have spoilers, so I know it was just on last night. If you don't watch it live, you can always pause and come back to this. or you can get it spoiled. So we are on the fantasy suite dates. And oh my gosh, I keep forgetting these girls' names. So his first date, Daisy comes out and meets with her, and they discuss blah blah blah. They go on the date. I think that he likes her. I think that I thought from the beginning, or from the beginning of the episode, that that she was going to be in the final two. It seems like they have good chemistry, and I really like that gift that he gave her with like the pizza boxes all stacked where they were like visiting her family. That was a really cute picture. You could just see like the joy on her face on that one. They do their thing. Pretty standard one-on-one, I thought. Or yeah. So then we go to Zoe, and Zoe's vibes, you can just tell it's like friend zone. And Zoe talks to Rachel, and she makes the comment like, "Oh, it'll be nice to talk to Rachel since we're in the same shoes. We both got the least amount of time, leading up." And it's like, Zoe, isn't that ringing alarm bells in your ear that Rachel didn't get picked? She got the least amount of time. You got the least amount of time. You're not getting picked. Spoiler alert, she didn't get picked. She's talking with Rachel, and it's like, okay. Anyway, so and then I thought this was shady of the producers, because she was so like in her head about them not having a lot of time to talk and a lot of time to get as much time to get to know each other, because they didn't have that extra one-on-one. And so the producers give them a yoga date, and they start talking, and it's like, no, be quiet, and they cannot talk on this date. And I could see Zoe, she was just like, nope, I'm so anxious, I need to talk, like, cannot. In the episode, they made it seem like, yeah, they were connecting, we don't need to talk, but I could see it in her eyes. She was like, this is not okay. They do their fantasy suite, and and Hulu is really trying to push that Kardashians on us. Kardashians Hulu. Yeah, they're just. I saw that Hulu or Kanye called like Kim out and was like, you and your Disney, you are like up Disney's butt, or something along the lines of like calling out Disney too, in his tweet with calling out Kim, because Disney is part of Hulu, and Kim has this like thing with them. Anyway, so yeah, huge logo during that date, and they should have put it like during the rose ceremony if they wanted to get eyes on it, because I think people are fast forwarding through that boring date. Lolita meets with Katie, the only winner. I liked Katie better as a blonde. I know she doesn't care what my thoughts are, but I liked her better as blonde. She meets with her. And that was also a weird conversation, because Katie is like telling her, well, in my situation, and just keeps going on about her situation and what had happened. And it felt like Lolita was like, okay, but that's not my situation. And like, yeah, and they definitely had like a little bit of I don't know. It was weird, and I feel like Katie just wanted to talk about her and Zach and say that her and Zach are doing so well, and I don't really care about her and Zach. Yeah. So then they go through, and Grant does tell Lolita that he says it, that he's in love with her. He had started before saying that, I think I'm going from falling in love to love. And my husband was very confused by that phrasing. It's like, well, in Bachelor, there's these phases, you start excited for the process. I'm ready to start this process. I trust this process. And then it's like, I'm falling. And then they do like this, oh, are you my boyfriend? Are you my girlfriend? And, sometimes if you're far enough, if you have that relationship, you'll start to do that. And then it's I'm falling for you. I'm falling in love with you. I can feel myself falling. I'm falling. I'm in love. So that's the step. So Grant has to remind us that he's still in that falling, but he thinks it's getting to the love, to just straight love, not falling. And he tells Lolita, and I think after he kind of is like he's not sure if she's the one, and he's kind of like, I just feel a little sorry, and he's kind of thinking, I think he's thinking like, crap, if I do go back and pick, oh my gosh, why can't I remember this girl's name? This is bad. If I go back and and the other girl watches this, who I also, because he says, I am in love with her, but there's also love for this other girl. And yeah. Bachelor ABC. Please give me some names. No. Oh my gosh. Drop it in the comments. People are probably like screaming at me. Juliana. Okay, there we go. Okay. So yeah, so I think he likes Juliana too. Does anyone get weird vibes from Lolita? Like when they had to do that zipline date, she just seemed like very like, ew, why would he pick this for me? And it could be because she was nervous about the zipline, but it just gave me like a weird vibe. I get weird vibes off her. Does anyone else feel that, or is that just me? But I do like Juliana better. I think she's like ready for it, and I think that they're that's why I don't go on my phone. I had Instagram to find the Bachelor name, and then it just popped up, and then I literally was like scrolling as I was doing this, trying to read an article while I was trying to tell you a story. Instagram, it's addicting. I think that he likes Juliana the most, and I think he got caught up in the moment by saying it to Lolita because she was at the end. And if it's filmed the same way, if she's at the end, I feel like he just has so much love, so much like love from these past few days, and he just needs to let it out. He needs to tell someone, and she's the lucky woman. But we'll see how it turns out in the end. We still have one more episode, and we'll see who Grant picks. Like I said, my vote is for Juliana, and we'll recap that next week and see what happens. Who do you guys think is going to win? Who are you voting for? Or not? Can you imagine if we voted and we got to pick who Grant did that for? Oh my gosh, that would be great. Okay, who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting for? Last but not least, Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you have ever watched in the past and have fallen off, get back on board. It is good. This episode had like the title reference like hot mic, and I love anything hot mic related. Get a housewife caught on a hot mic, and you make my day. So we go back to where we left off, and Portia and Drew are talking about Dennis, the hot dog king, and how Dennis is Portia's baby daddy and ex, and Drew, Sedora, is trying to blossom her music career. So she's saying that Dennis is helping her with that, and he is her angel, and he's just so great. And Portia is like, she's already on a divorce from her next husband. She doesn't have time to worry about Dennis, the hot dog king. And she truly is over him. She's like, I'm done. But there's still something that's bugging her about Drew working with Dennis. And you can kind of, it's like, but you can tell she's not so in love with him. She doesn't care, like, if they're together. And then Portia does this. And I have the quote. Sorry, I have to pull it up because I want to get the quote right. So they're fighting. And so Portia stops and goes, is the producer here? Can I break a fourth wall? A fourth wall break? Episode 2? Yes, give it to me. And then the producer goes, break it. Oh, and she goes, you have been trying to go behind my back and do something very dirty by asking Dennis to film with you. So that's what it is. That's the fourth wall break, is in Housewives, we don't talk about filming, we don't talk about production, we do not talk about the show. We talk, it's kind of like this meta thing. So breaking that fourth wall would be talking about the producers that are behind them, the cameras, and all the minutia of how it's filmed. And so Portia goes on to say that she has a good relationship with Dennis right now. They have a daughter together. They co-parent. Everything is all good. And by Drew pulling Dennis in, she's doing it to get Dennis to have a plot line with her on the show. And if Dennis is working on music with Drew, that is going to cause friction with Portia because he's now on the show. When Portia, the show is Portia's safe space. It's her show. It really is. There's so many housewives that went into Atlanta, but she is she is a cornerstone of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So the fact that she's back is huge. And she came back to show her side of what's going on with her divorce, to show people, how you can co-parent and have, a daughter, and to give these people a peek into her life. And she gets to tell it from her side. This is her way to do that. So Dennis comes on the show. He's not a housewife. No one wants to see Dennis on TV. And he comes in and now he gets to tell his side on TV. And that puts Portia in now I'm fighting with my baby daddy on television in front of people. It's out for everyone to see, including her daughter. And that's just not Dennis, you're not a housewife. All these men are trying to become housewives. They all want to take over. I think ever since this Real Housewives of New Jersey guys kind of started to break in and get some of that spotlight, all these other guys are wanting to cash in on that as well. We just have these freaking grifters hanging on to these women. Dennis the hot dog king doing music. So she's just that's the root of why she's pissed. And Drew just doesn't see it. And she's a known liar. Even Cynthia Bailey, I said it to myself even before, Portia's a liar, or not Portia, Drew is a liar. And Cynthia Bailey even goes Drew has lied once, twice, 3, 4, 5. A lot of times Drew has lied. And she always just does this confused, oh, I'm doing a really good job of it. I see in the camera, but my face is what she does when someone confronts her and she's no, that didn't happen, but it did. And you're lying, Drew. Portia goes to Drew, you are a low down, dirty individual. And I agree, because when you lay down with dogs, you get wet. Is that the phrase? And she's been hanging out around with Ralph too much. And Ralph is not a good guy. I think her and Ralph are just annoying people that fed off each other until they were no longer of good use for each other. And now they hate each other. And so now Drew's trying to find her own plot line so she can stay relevant on the show, because her music career is not going anywhere. It's not getting her that plot line that she needs. What else happened? Okay, so Portia goes, you can marry him, you can fuck him, you can kill him. I don't care. You can do all of them. I love that. Kenya's just floating in the background, getting cut from scenes left and right. She had a one-on-one with Portia, which was nice to see because they don't have the best history. So it was nice to see them coming together, chatting, talking about the whole Drew and Dennis situation. But yeah, you can kind of see that they're kind of pushing Kenya back. She was barely in the middle of this, and it was in the background. There's a clip where she's going I'm so lost. You are, Kenya. You're lost in the background, and you're going to continue to get lost throughout this season. Shamia's house is so big. It's they just kept floating around room to room, and then they get in the backyard. They jump in the pool, foam party. I am dying to go to a foam party. I had to miss one for my friend's wedding. I love you, Jess. I was in it, and everyone else that wasn't in it, that was the only day for the foam party. And so everyone got to be downstairs at the foam party, and I was upstairs getting my makeup done. And I love getting my makeup done, and I was so happy to be there. I just wish there was a foam party a second day while we were at that wedding. And so now it's my dream. Every time I see a foam party, I want to go to a foam party now. Shamia is talking about her story and about like her fertility and what the process was like for her to have a baby, and going to a hospital and like having a chemical pregnancy. Trigger warning. We're going to talk about Shamia's fertility journey, I guess. Yeah, I just said that. She went to the hospital, was in pain, and was like, the doctors, just wait. And no one, like, people wouldn't believe her. And it's like, we have to believe women when they say that they're in pain, especially if they're pregnant. Like, I don't think a pregnant woman is going to come in and just like try to get drugs, we just need to believe women when they're telling us what's wrong with them. We're really intuitive with our bodies. We know. So just listen to us. So she goes on to talk about her surrogate and has a Candy Burst flashback. And it looks like they use the same, what is it called? A surrogate. They have the same surrogate company. So it seems like Shamia is trying to grow her family. That is nice. The other girls, they're still trying to grow me. I'm still trying to follow what's going on with them. Kelly. It's a good season of Atlanta. You can tell that there's stuff building. It looks like maybe next week is the Kenya drama where she goes to that party and goes after Kelly Edie. But keep watching Atlanta. I recommend. Tonight is Tuesday. That means we have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that we're going to watch. I think that's it. That's what I'm going to cover tomorrow. I should have had this part set up, but I don't. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And, I'm going to finish the basketball, the Kate Hudson, the Mindy Kaling joint, Running Point. I'm going to finish that today and do my full breakdown on that tomorrow, along with other celebrity gossip. I see that there's already things trending. I got to go check that out, make lunches, get the kids to school. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to follow or subscribe, like, and comment if you want. If there's any trending stories that you're seeing, drop them in the comments. I will do the research. I'll cover them. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. You have a great day. Bye.